Welcome to Inner Psychology. You probably go through your day believing you are the one in control, that the choices you make are your own conscious decisions. But look closely at your routine. You wake up and your hand immediately reaches for the phone. You sit down to work and quickly find yourself seeking a distraction. And when you finally get some free time, you spend it purely in consumption. Repeat. On the surface, this feels entirely normal. Underneath, you are no longer choosing your actions. You are simply repeating them, reacting without awareness and living without intention. And you feel the friction this creates. You feel stuck without quite knowing why, leading to that quiet, familiar promise. I'll change tomorrow. But tomorrow, the pattern just repeats. This cycle is the mechanical output of a hidden operating system running in the background of your brain. It is a biological process, not a failure of character. To understand why this system exists, we have to look at how we are wired. This background programming is a biological feature, built for a very specific purpose. The human brain is an energy conservation engine. Making active, deliberate decisions requires a massive amount of caloric fuel. To save power, the brain takes the behaviors you repeat and turns them into automatic habits. The brain builds habits using a simple loop: trigger, action, and reward. For example, boredom triggers picking up your phone, which rewards you with dopamine. For negative emotions, it's identical. Stress triggers scrolling to escape, rewarding you with temporary relief. This pattern matching kept our ancestors alive. But in a modern environment built to supply infinite distraction, this survival mechanism has mutated into a trap that strips us of conscious agency. Eventually, something much heavier shifts. The behavior becomes so predictable that a physical, automated reaction crosses over and solidifies into a psychological state. Over time, your self-perception begins to absorb these endless loops. You start mistaking your robotic, programmed habits for your inherent personality traits. Your identity adapts to the automation. You start assigning yourself heavy, defeating internal labels. I am lazy, I can't focus, or I always fail. But look closely at the mechanics. These labels are reflections of your repetition, not your potential. What we accept as a fixed, flawed identity is merely the predictable output of an uninterrupted, automated pattern repeating over time. To reclaim your agency, you do not need to destroy this system through sheer willpower. You simply have to interrupt it. The override command is awareness. It is the act of noticing the trigger the exact millisecond it occurs. The moment you become aware, everything slows down. You experience a sudden, expansive gap of frozen time between feeling an impulse and executing the action. In that suspended moment, you execute a new set of instructions. You feel the impulse rise. You deliberately delay the automatic reaction, and you question the habit. Because the brain relies on immediate, frictionless execution, inserting this conscious pause fractures the loop. Awareness breaks the automation, giving you back the power of choice. When you first apply this friction, do not expect a massive rush of clarity. At first, nothing feels different, and the disruption is not immediately rewarding. But slowly, the changes compound. You begin noticing your own behavior before it happens. You transition from reacting blindly to a stimulus to acting with deliberate intention. Over time, you regain control of the steering wheel, and your life finally stops repeating the exact same patterns as yesterday. Autopilot feels comfortable because it removes effort, but it also removes control. Awareness is the catalyst for change. Once you start noticing your patterns, you stop being controlled by them.